with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team, GS Construction, is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Albertans love to tailgate before the big game.
Gotta have burgers.
Hot dogs, obviously.
You're both missing out. Wilhauk beef jerky is the real MVP.
When it comes to tailgate snacks, there's only one unanimous pick.
Wilhauk beef jerky.
No barbecue required. Wilhauk is ready to eat before we head to our seats.
Bring it to your next football tailgate.
Wilhauk beef jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
You need freedom on the job site to get your work done. Carhartt's extensive line of rugged flex pants are engineered to move and stretch with you throughout the day. So whatever you're doing isn't held back by lack of mobility. Find the largest selection of Carhartt Rugged Flex at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough different jobs.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440. On today's show, is there hope for Bruce Cassidy and Edmonton? NBA Game 7 on the way. Elks at Clark Stadium tonight. And we could have our Stanley Cup final matchup known to us later on tonight. It is the Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Our headliners of the day today, we have Steve Lansky coming up. Looking forward to that. And a little bit of football talk, CFL style. From 3 Down Nation, we are going to be talking to Mr. Hodge in about, I'd say an hour and 20 minutes or so. John Hodge will join us from 3 Down Nation. So it's going to be a fun show, lots to talk about. We are brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings now on 2026 Sierra 1500 pickups and all remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Wolf GMC Buick. .com. We're live on sports1440.ca, iHeartRadio, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, it's Apple and Spotify podcast. Plus, we tweet it out on X. We're at Twitter at Lowetide, at JFenwick04, and at Donovan Paulson. It's Friday, and that's the first time I've read the Twitter item correctly. That's how long a week it's been for Lowetide. You can text us as well at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Okay, you ready? Here comes the introductions. If he were part of the entertainment tonight at Clark Stadium for the Elks' final preseason game, he would be the man with the T-shirt cannon. He's the owner of Boundless Energy, can turn anything into a game, and people actually like being around him. Unusual for radio people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
I have never wanted anything more in my life than to be able to fire a T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, but what would you put in it? Because I feel like T-shirts would be the beginning, and then go,
T-shirt
hey,
would
you
the
would be
beginning,
really
but
good.
then, like, obviously, the natural progression is putting beer cans in it and shooting it to people.
But
that doesn't sound dangerous at all.
No, and you'd get more creative and more dangerous as the evening went along.
It would be a literal silver bullet with the Coors Light that we would be shooting out of that T-shirt cannon.
If he were part of the entertainment at Clark Stadium tonight, he would be the sign man in the stands because he can make people get loud in a quick hurry. And he'd start out with the D and then the picture of the fence. But knowing him, he would go to inappropriate places before halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Donovan Paulson. Donovan Paulson, everybody.
That is so true. I would definitely go to inappropriate places.
I know you would.
Some of the most fun I've ever had in a sporting venue is when some people bring those signs that are just edgy enough to really get the crowd going. And I'll never forget, this isn't really edgy, but when my first playoff game I ever went to, still the only playoff game I've ever been to.
What?
Yeah, I've only been
Do you
to
not
one.
like
I've
crowds?
been to just as many as you, Donnie. What the hell?
Well, but I also, you know what I do, I pre and post game, so I
Yeah,
can't
you're
really
right.
go.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
all right.
yeah, but anyways, there was this dude who had about 7 signs. One of them was like, go sports. Everybody just have fun. And then he was also wearing a Leafs jersey, and he was like, let's go refs. Like, he didn't care at all, but he just had all these random like sports signs. He had pictures of footballs. It was so much fun.
That's very clever stuff. I just know that you would have like there would be different items for your sign on the left. Your right would just be this with an exclamation point and you with an exclamation point, and then it would be a matter of what your left hand was saying. And I think you'd get thrown out of the game within 20 minutes of the opening faceoff or kickoff.
Let's go refs is elite, though.
True. It really is good. So anyway, people are wondering about Bruce Cassidy, whether he's ever getting permission to talk to the Oilers, whether he come to the Oilers. I want to tell you a story. This is a little folklore of the show and how things sometimes leak with regard to the Edmonton Oilers, because there's a lot of prairie folk who are connected or in the NHL, and there's also Rod Peterson. So 2019, early spring, maybe late winter, there's a rumor out of the blue. The word cloud in Edmonton did not include the name Ken Holland. But out of the blue, Ken Holland is going to be the next general manager of the Edmonton Oilers. And so I start, I go online and I do research, as these young people call it. I just type in Ken Holland manager, and up comes Rod Peterson. And Peterson's talking about it. And he's talking about it, pretty authoritatively. And I'm like, so I had him on the show. I had him on the Lowdown with Lowetide. And I've listened to Rod, and I know him for many, many years. Regina people tend to know each other because they're Regina people. And so he's on the show, and he said, I know it. It's, don't believe me. I don't care. I'm just telling you this was going to end. Of course, it did happen. So today, Rod Peterson is online saying Bruce Cassidy will be coaching the Oilers next year. So I offer it. I am not an insider. In fact, if I have been given information from people in the past and I don't use it, and sometimes it makes them mad because there's an expectation. But unless I feel like it benefits, me and everybody else, then I never want to be known as an insider, because I'm not. So if I get an inside thing, then you got to go find something else. I don't want to do that. I don't care about it. It's like a world in which you get 15 seconds of fame and then nobody cares. Not interested. I'd rather use my time wisely by watching Murder, She Wrote. So Peterson says this: Bruce Cassidy will be coaching the Oilers. I don't know how he knows, but I do know that Peterson is connected. He's got his ear to the railroad track daily. So whatever it is, I'm just putting it there for you. We'll find out in the future. I say no more, but it is interesting. We all assume that the Montreal Canadiens will be eliminated when they play the Carolina Hurricanes. I almost said Calgary Flames. And that will be, once again, the end of the hopes of a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup, which is good if you're an Oilers fan because next year is the Oilers year. It's written right here. And then 2029, it's the Calgary Flames, incredibly. So it'll be a little bit of run there of Canadian Stanley Cup victories just around the corner. But I feel as though this Montreal Canadiens team deserves our respect. And their management does, their ownership does, certainly the players do. And I think they've timed it well with really good signings. They've got depth everywhere. I think the Montreal Canadiens will win the Stanley Cup in the next 7 years. We'll see. But their window is just opening up. And what an exciting time for Montreal Canadiens fans. I know many of them. They call me. I never return their calls. And if I accidentally answer it, I just hang up. But Montreal Canadiens fans exist everywhere, including this city. And I know it's going to be a tough night for them. But I think you guys have to agree. Montreal Canadiens had a great year.
I couldn't disagree with that at all. And I think anyone that wouldn't give this Habs team respect is disrespectfully an idiot. So there's that for you.
What about you? Any thoughts on the Canadiens there, young Donovan?
Well, I mean, this team, this was a huge step for them this year, right? This was kind of the goal, right? If you were to ask a Montreal Canadiens fan, I think they even exceeded expectations this year. Like you look at even what they did at the trade deadline, and I don't think they expected this. I think they expected to be a first round exit. We're really happy if we make it to the second round. And now you've made it to the third round. So I think you have to respect this team. I think you also have to look at how they've kind of been dismantled by the Carolina Hurricanes. And you have to say, okay, so there's still a little ways away here. There's still some work in progress parts to this team. They particularly need a second line center. And they've kind of got to go from there. But you look at the young talent they have, you look at a lot of the pieces on this team, and you say they've kind of got all the important facets, right? They've got the number one center. They've got that goal scorer. They've got I would say, number one and number two defensemen all locked up between Dobson and Hudson. And then you've got some combination of goaltending, whether that's Fowler, whether that's Dobish for the future. I think both are great goalies. I just don't know which one's going to be their starter.
That's fair, and we'll find out. I want to talk a little bit. I wrote about Michael Parkatti today, and my friend Sunil Agnihotre also wrote about Parkatti and Bruce Kurlock. And the decision by the Edmonton Oilers to increase the impact of the analytics department by giving Michael Parkatti a new title. And they recently signed some analytics folks as well. So it's increasing in size. And I think that moving forward, the Edmonton Oilers, who the fan base was at the cutting edge of analytics, and that was like 20 years ago or more. I think they're in a really good position here. And the reason why is there's opportunity. The analytics staff can recommend to Stan Bowman, hey, here's a guy who might be able to help us, and all he costs is money because he's playing in Russia or Germany or wherever. Now, Josh Szymanski, legend has it, was a Dallas Aikens recommendation. But they've also brought over some other players who are really interesting, and we'll see how they all work out. But I think giving Parkatti a new title and putting more importance on that, and especially the things that Stan Bowman said, in light of the promotions, I think it's very important to acknowledge that the Edmonton Oilers are, in a material way, acknowledging the importance of analytics. Not that it's replacing the eye test. You still have to see these guys and make sure they have 10 fingers and toes, and foot speed's important, and you don't turn your back on a 6'5", 210 guy. You just don't. But it gives them a bigger advantage than they had, say, 4 years ago. So I think it's a very, very positive thing. And I will also say that Brad Holland, I thought, did a really good job with the pro scouting department when he was here. And so they're not where they need to be yet, but they're on their way, and I think it's a good thing. We'll also mention that young winger who was drafted a few years ago from the KHL, Maxim Bereskin, was rumored a few weeks ago to be signing with the Edmonton Oilers this spring or summer. And I wrote about an article up at The Athletic today, and his bona fides are really very strong. This is a guy I think who could be, at the very least, pushing for NHL work this fall, depending upon how they feel about all the other players. The word from his agent confirmed earlier today is that he won't be coming over and he'll be signing a new 2-year contract in the KHL. So when it's time for a player to push and he doesn't, I think it's fair for an organization to let go the line, in the words of the great philosopher Max Webster. And I suspect that is what the organization will do. And it's too bad because they drafted him and he developed in the KHL where he's been a very good player. And he decided not to sign here for whatever reason. We know the history of the Edmonton Oilers and Russian players from Bogdan Yakimov, Zayat Pagan, Ilya Kamenov. I can't remember his name now, but he was a goaltender they drafted in, I think, 2019. He came over, didn't spend a lot of time here because when they send them to Bakersfield, the Russian players would prefer to play in the KHL and they just zip right back there. So I think there should be recognition that Russia is a tough nut for the Edmonton Oilers to crack. And there are reasons for it that the Edmonton Oilers can't control. Where do Russians like to play? Eastern Seaboard, New York City. Edmonton's a long way from that. And it's not a coastal city. You know, you might be able to convince a Russian player to have a lot of fun in Los Angeles or San Jose, but, you know, or Florida. But I think the Edmonton Oilers are much better going to Finland and Sweden, where we have seen great success in both countries for this Edmonton Oilers organization. So it's something to look forward to as time goes on. Big night last night, Josh.
Oh, yeah. It was a big night last night, I tell you what. So Wemby legacy game, I was correct. He had some crazy possessions where
you did say exactly that.
He was taking Isaiah Hartenstein off the dribble and stepping back to like 30 feet and then just letting it fly, and it was cashing in. As well, like the whistles were swallowed last night by the refs, in my opinion. Like there was they sort of found that right edge of what's just physical defense and what's against the rules, and also recognizing some flopping. Now, obviously, like the Spurs did have some dirty plays in there, sort of policing the game for themselves at times, which I'm also not against if you're, getting hard fouled all the time. But I got to give it back to the Spurs. Like, hey, man, maybe don't go blatantly breaking the rules the same way I said the Thunder should not be doing that. So Game 7, two best words in sports. I'm very excited. And that's going down tomorrow night. And honestly, I still think the Spurs have got it. I'm riding with the Spurs. They're my pick to win the finals this year, so I'm riding with the Spurs.
All right, that'll be interesting. Elks play tonight. They've had some injuries and some things that we'll talk about in the rumors section. But if you're going tonight, you are so lucky because it's a small venue. It's a great place to watch football. Did it many times, and so it'll be alive tonight. And this is a good team, so enjoy, and we'll talk about that, throughout the show, and certainly on Monday as the Elks get closer and closer. Last preseason game, right? Like their regular season right away here. Seems like the CFL starts earlier every year, man.
Well, they've shortened up the preseason now, so that's where we're at.
All right. Is there anything we didn't mention? Do you have anything you want to yell at the Blue Jays about?
No, I mean they've finally started to find their footing a little bit here.
Yeah,
now, granted, the offense is still a little questionable, but that's kind of to be expected, I guess, at this point with this team. Is the offense at times for certain guys looks really hard to come by, but as long as you have a couple guys rolling, you can kind of get by. And with how weak the AL is right now, the Jays have kind of found themselves in a somewhat decent spot considering how slow they've gotten out of the gate and how hurt they've been. But, they still need to find their bats a little bit here, but some signs of life from some guys of late.
Their defense is starting to look a lot better, too.
Yeah, their defense is starting to look a lot better. Okamoto hit a homer the other night, so...
How's that new kid, the outfielder? Bongadonga or something? Yeah, that's him.
Panago has been fantastic for them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm never one to declare a guy
you're right.
major league ready or whatever. Yeah. Like he needs about another 150 at bats before I look at him and go, that's a major league player right there. Because we've seen this, right? Like look at Davis Schneider, right? You come up and you're basically Babe Ruth for a couple months, and then
major league pitchers are going to figure you out.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. It's how do you adjust to the major leaguers adjusting to you? That's the sign of a good, true major league player. Anybody in baseball can go off for 2 months, but the real players show out.
It's so true.
And adjust.
Yeah, it's true in life too. The first 2 months of this show were great, legendary, and now we're here. By the way, next week Declan's not here again, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
I believe.
And then we'll find out. I mean, he may just stay.
He said
there.
he was gone for 9 days.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, why would you come back on a Friday unless he thinks that there's
he's doing
or
it in his
Wednesday?
flight time. Yeah,
because he left on a Sunday. I would imagine it was supposed to be Sunday to Sunday.
Well, if he comes here on Thursday, I'm going to kick him out.
I think he would only be here on Friday.
Yeah. He's probably going to, he's going to Vatican City. He's going to get a job as an acolyte and we'll never see him again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why would he come back for a Friday show?
Exactly.
I'm just actually genuinely
He's going to be
curious.
so
He
jet
just
lagged.
loves declinations so much. He needs to give
Speaking
his top
of
5 list.
1240, what have you got for declinations?
You know, I was thinking about doing some sports movies stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey, I actually
don't let Josh impact that.
That's a lot easier.
I was thinking about doing either the top 5 sports movies list, or we do like a snake draft of sports movies.
Don't do a snake draft. That's because you don't get to talk about it.
You get to talk about it.
Well, okay.
You might get to talk about
You
it
better make
more.
it entertaining.
Yeah,
Because
and then
most snake drafts on radio are exactly what they sound like. It's like snakes on a plane, only bad.
You're a part of the snake draft too.
Yeah, like we can all, and then we can give our thoughts on the movies, and then the listeners can give
if
their
I'm a
thoughts
part of
on
it, then okay, I'll do it.
Which group has the better draft?
And also, if one of us takes another person's pick, that person whose pick was taken is going to be pissed.
Yeah. All right. So
Like you.
we're going to
I'm
do
talking
number
about
1
you.
overall, and he's going to start, right? So I'll get 3.
Yes, you get
and then
3,
I get 3
and 4.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's on the way. We have Steve Lansky. We have John Hodge. Is going to be a great show. On the way, though, rumors and a big one out of Toronto involving the Toronto Maple Leafs is straight ahead. Can't wait for it. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Real protection starts from the ground up. Timberland Pro Boondock Boots provide industrial-grade protection and legendary durability. Their new BOA series give you unmatched fit and performance coupled with all-day anti-fatigue comfort. Find the largest selection of Timberland Boondock BOAs at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough for tough jobs.
Ride for Dad is back. Join Sports 1440 as we help raise funds and awareness for the fight against prostate cancer. The ride starts Saturday, June 13th at Blackjack's Roadhouse. Register online at ridefordad.ca and find more info at sports1440.com.
Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings at wolfgmcbuick.com. Beautiful day, great weekend. Apparently, there's going to be buckets of rain pouring all weekend, well, Saturday night through whenever. That's via Josh Klassen, and sometimes it doesn't work like that, but it feels close now. And it's early. It's still May. Weird weather year. When did we start getting spring? Like 12 hours ago?
Yeah. So pretty close to that,
And all the pollen has fallen now. I went straight from, snow mold to pollen.
Yeah. It sucks, but again, I'll never be one to speak out against a cheeky little thunderstorm because I love
them. Yeah. All right. It is time for Rumors, brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton. It's riding season, and Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has your next bike waiting. Huge selection of new and pre-owned, plus test rides available. Locally owned and operated since 1980 on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com. It's not just a place to shop and to ride a bike that you might buy. It's a social central place for folks who love biking. So check it out if you haven't been before. And I can't imagine that is true. We have John Hodge coming up at 1:20 today. Our friend Steve Lansky, who joins us every week from Inside the Truck podcast, will be here at 1 o'clock. Okay, I promised you a wild rumor. This is credited to Darren Dreger. Leafs trade first overall pick plus Hildeby, who I like, the goaltender, to the Blues for Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko. That's a lot of age and a lot of money going one way for a first overall pick.
Don't you think that would be a terrible trade for St. Louis? I think that'd be a terrible trade for St. Louis.
Well, if they're totally rebuilding, which we just talked about yesterday with Lou Korac and said that they're not doing that.
Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. What is the actual chance that Gavin McKenna is better than Robert Thomas? Because Robert Thomas is he's not an elite number one center, but he is a number one center.
And he's a great player.
And he's almost a Team Canada level player. Like if there was a second Team Canada team, that's probably your number two center on that team.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I wouldn't, if I was St. Louis, I wouldn't even do Robert Thomas for the number one overall pick.
Well, I think you'd have to believe the number one overall pick is just absolutely lights out.
You'd have to believe that because Gavin McKenna is not a center. So you would have to believe that Gavin McKenna is a top 5 winger in the league. Just
starting out.
You'd have to believe he's a top 5 winger.
Yeah. If you missed it yesterday, the Oilers made some moves. Assistant GMs Kurt Hill, no longer GM of the Oil Kings, now assistant GM of the Oilers. Michael Chan, new GM for the Oil Kings. Michael Parcati, Vice President, Analytics and Technology. Kurt Hill, Assistant GM of Player Personnel. That's kind of cool and interesting, because Kurt Hill came here, did his due diligence with the Oil Kings, did well, obviously, and has now moved up. Kelly Larson, Assistant GM, Player Development and Innovation. He's a guy who we know he's been rising in the organization since he came over from the USHL, and obviously he's done very well. They've also done some things with the European operations. Assistant GM there, Toby Salmalainen. Andreas Carlson is Director of Player Development, and Justin Mahe here over the ocean, the Atlantic crossing for Justin Mahe, Director of Hockey Operations Player Experience. And now it sounds like, Justin Mahe moved somewhere. No, I was just moving from the scouting department in Europe back over to North America and some of the analytics folks. So lots of moves made by the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. I think that fans should be generally encouraged by it. There's a lot of work that goes into procurement, especially for a team that doesn't have a lot of draft picks. But I will say that the 2025 draft could be really unusually good. They didn't draft until the 3rd round, but their first 3 picks, obviously in depth rounds, look like they're all on track and even better, and all have a chance to play in the NHL. Now, you're not going to get an impact scorer that late in the draft, but these guys can play, and they're, this is a good group to keep track of if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, because the way the world works now in hockey is you don't just stay with your team, or you don't just go to the AHL when you're 20. You can go to different places, and you can go the college route and you can play there for a few years. So there's a lot of options depending upon your skill level and where you think you might succeed the best. Tommy Lafreniere was a 3rd-round pick last year by the Edmonton Oilers, and he looked very good. He increased his point rate by 27 points and his goal rate by 17 year over year with the Kamloops Blazers. And then he went to the Bakersfield Condors, and he looked good. And now he's off to university. So I think Edmonton Oilers fans should be very encouraged by the procurement department. That includes analytics and the scouts. The scouts often get dumped on. I think they've done a really good job. Now, I don't know who makes the big decisions on the big names that come in. But if you look at some of the players that have been signed out of the college ranks or the junior ranks or the European ranks, and some of the moves they've made, a little bit concerning now that, they didn't sign Paul Fisher, who was part of the deal for Broberg and Holloway. And now it looks like Baroskin isn't coming here either. When you get these young players, especially in a trade, especially if they're college guys, you have to get them signed. So that's something, a little bit of a red flag here for the current management group. You want to make sure that those things are absolutely covered off and make sure that they don't happen. As far as the rest of the NHL is concerned, I think when Montreal goes out and Carolina moves on, there will be an opportunity, I think, to make some news. I don't know whether anybody will make a big, hiring or a trade or anything like that. But Gary doesn't. Once the final starts, you shut your mouth until the end of the final. Then you can do whatever you want. By the way, the IIHF is going to decide on Russia participation on an event-by-event basis. How do you feel about that? An international tournament without Russia feels weird, but there are reasons behind it. It's not like the war is over. Do you have thoughts on that, or do you prefer not to talk about it?
Sure, I'll give some thoughts on it. Why not? Essentially, like, what it boils down to in the simplest terms is actions have consequences. And no one else wants to be involved with what's going on over there, being sympathizers or anything of the such. So it's easier to just say, you know what, guys, you shouldn't be doing this, but you can't be a part of anything else until the situation over there is resolved. And it's because what you're doing is wrong. And it's good that everyone's taking a stance against it. And yeah, that's really like the crux of it.
Sounds like IIHF is willing to move off of that a little bit. A review on a per tournament basis now.
I guess so. They might be thinking, I don't know, the World Cup in 2 years.
That's what I thought.
That's what the thought there is.
And then it makes it easier for the next Olympics.
Yeah, I guess so. But honestly, wouldn't you rather just hope that it's over in 2 years so you don't have to worry about having that conversation at all?
Yeah, and the fact that they addressed it now is just, I think, a little curious at the very least. But we move on and we wait for more news. Anything in the world of baseball, football, or basketball you guys want to talk about in this segment?
I can't think of anything football, but I'm sure Donnie has some baseball.
I can give you some baseball. I mean, Adam Macko, good Canadian kid.
He's starting tonight or
starting today.
Right.
He is getting his first start. If you've watched him in the WBC, you would have seen him. He's been relief pitching for a while for the Jays now. So this is a big night for him. We obviously have no idea how long he's going to go for, but like this is going to be a fun one for them and for his family and for that. So obviously got to shout out the good Canadian kid making his first career start. But like that was kind of what I wanted to address for baseball. But other than that, the Chicago Cubs finally snapped their 10-game.
What is it with the Cubs? Now, I know they've got a lot of pitching.
They just love streaks.
They have an infinite amount of pitching injuries. That's one thing. But they are the first team to this point to ever have 2 10-plus game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak at this point early in the season, which is bananas. But this Cubs team, I don't know if Josh, you might have seen the memes, the how to lose a division lead in 10 days or whatever, just like the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days movie.
I just watched that yesterday, actually. Funny enough.
There's just some really good memes coming out of Chicago for that. But like those are relevant baseball stories. There's other ones around too, and how bad the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are, but
Hey, well, that's I wouldn't exactly say that's news. There is something that literally just came down the pipe in the NBA, though. Spurs assistant coach Sean Sweeney, who is their defensive coach, who'd been the conductor of the defense that's really hurt Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder in this series. It's just been hired by the Orlando Magic to be the next head coach.
There you go.
Now, normally I wouldn't say this is news at all. However, for those of you that don't know, from 10 to 12 every Saturday, I'm on this show called Hoop City with Paul Sir, 10 to 12 every Saturday. Sean Sweeney played with Steve Sir, Paul Sir in high school.
Cool.
So we've just sort of been keeping tabs on everything. So yeah, now it's official. He's hired as they're finalizing the hire of him to be their next head coach. And I imagine he'll report to the team once the Spurs are out, whether that's tomorrow night or at the end of the finals.
I have a question for both of you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Is Paul Skeens still the best pitcher in baseball? I mean, he's a great pitcher, but some of the starts this year have been...
Is it Shohei Ohtani? Is Shohei Ohtani the best pitcher
Well, I
in
mean,
baseball?
or you could go, Sanchez is pitching brilliantly.
Sanchez is probably like this year.
I'm just wondering about Skeens because we know that at the beginning of the year, it was Crochet and Skubal and Skeens, and then both Skubal and Crochet got hurt, and Skeens is still healthy. But I'm not saying he's pitching badly. I'm not saying that at all. It's just that last year he'd pitch 8 innings, lose 1-0. This year it's not quite the same, but he doesn't seem as though he's as dominant.
I understand where it is you're coming from with that, and I would say probably this year he's not the best pitcher in baseball because a lot of other guys are having great, like absolutely unreal years. That being said, if you looked at me and said, "Hey,
I don't want to look at you,
Paul Skeens, like you want him?" Yes, like starting a franchise, pick your first pitcher. Every day of the week and like 9 times on Sunday, I'm taking Paul Skeens over everybody.
Donovan.
I think it's him or Skubal. Pick your poison. I think he's still probably like, I think he's still probably the best pitcher in the league, but it's so close between him and Skubal. I know Skubal's hurt, and I know that
he's coming back though in June.
He's going to come back, but it's such a tough choice, man. Like to me, there's probably a couple, like there's probably a handful of those guys who you could have in the conversation, but man, like Paul Skeens just had 2 bad starts, really, if you look at it.
Yeah.
And one of those was a third of an inning in the first game of the season.
And that was his center fielder.
His numbers will fall back down. I know he's at a 3 ERA right now or whatever, but man, like this is a guy who in his first 2 seasons was under a 2. Like, you got to look at the resume at some point and think, you know what? He's gotten a little unlucky this year.
That's fair.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. Farhan Lalji has Elks injury news. Defensive lineman Darian Newell joins Brandon Barlow. Achilles tears, both gone for the year. Brett Boyko, hand, and Benjamin Sangmoa, a knee, will go in the 6th game. Neither will require surgery. They are expected back. Receivers Robustelli and KJG will be ready for week 1. Of course, tonight is the final game at Clark Stadium in the Elks preseason, and we'll be all over that as the day rolls along. Now, on the way, it's Donovan Nations, and it's top 5. No, it's not. It's a snake draft of best all-time movies with, at the end, everybody's individual worst all-time sports movie.
best all-time sports movies. Yes.
Right.
And then I think we're gonna do at the end we'll just say our worst as well.
We'll give our honorable mention.
So how many are we going? 5 deep?
Five deep.
Okay. All right. I don't even know if I have 5 good movies, but I'll try. Okay. All right. That's all straight ahead. Stay tuned for that. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick.
The Edmonton Riverhawks return tonight. Join the best party in the River Valley with 27 theme nights like Paws in the Park, Star Wars, and Margaritaville. Don't miss opening weekend. Tickets start at $21 at tickets@gohawks.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors: strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18+ only.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For the most physically demanding jobs, Carhartt's Rugged Flex technology provides extra stretch where it's needed most to help you crouch, kneel, bend, or crawl with ease. Rugged Flex pants give you a maximum mobility advantage every time you put them on. Find the largest selection of Carhartt Rugged Flex at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations and online at jobsiteworkwear.ca.
Job site workwear, tough for tough jobs.
He's the only person to win an arm wrestling contest with the Philly Fanatic. The Lowdown with Lowetide, now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Summer songs, and Donovan's been doing a great job this week playing those summer tunes. When I got in the car yesterday, I turned on Boys of Summer, the Don Henley song that we played as a bumper, and turned that up real loud, and still a great song. Maybe the 88 year or somewhere in there. It is time for Donovanations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. The clear road to a new life. There is a better way. FairwayDivorce.com. Now it's a snake draft of the best all-time sports movies, beginning with you, Donovan.
Yes, sir. It is our lists. They really can't be wrong. I'm sure somebody will tell us we're idiots at the end, but
well, it goes without saying.
For me, I have to start this off. My 1-1. It is my ultimate favorite comfort movie. This is the movie I've probably seen it at least 10 times at this point. I think Moneyball is the best sports movie of all time.
You've only seen it at least 10 times?
But he's never been to a concert.
Got to pump that up.
I've probably seen it more, but I love that movie. I know it's not factually correct,
and the relationship between the dad and daughter is not good. But other than that,
there's a couple things in there where they're very wrong. But the movie as a whole is just such a perfect movie. There's no movie that makes me feel better than that. Moneyball, and I know you hate Brad Pitt, but that's a tremendous performance.
I love him in that movie, and I love the in the aggregate. That's just awesome.
I know
it's a great movie.
I know people are going to disagree with me on that one, but I had to get that one on my team.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think that was probably one of the top 2 picks that were going to go. So my in the 1-2, I'll take Remember the Titans. Absolutely
Classic.
Unreal, really good like content for segregation and things in the South and how sports bring everybody together. You also get great moments like Left Side, Strong Side. And my own personal favorite that I love to rip all the time is you blitz all night. I don't want them to get another yard. And a bunch of other fun stuff like
good,
that.
by the way.
Yeah, thank you. But like that always makes me chuckle. The music is great and it's very Disneyed up, but all in all, like Remember the Titans is if bang for my buck, best sports movie of all
Both
time.
great top choices. I'll go with Raging Bull. It's not an easy movie to watch, but it is a truly great movie. And I don't know that it's Scorsese's best, but it may well be. And De Niro too. So the titans of the movie industry making a difficult film, and Raging Bull is, if you haven't watched it, take a day and then don't plan on doing anything else because it's a tough movie to watch, but it's a brilliant movie. At number 4, this is just a personal favorite. I don't know that anybody would have it on their list, but I have giggled for decades over Slapshot. So I'm just going to say that that's the number 4 choice. And if you said watch a movie now, it would be Slapshot. Paul Newman is so good in that movie. Everybody is. It's just so funny. And the Carlson brothers are classic. They brought their bleeping toys. So good. So that's my pick at number 4, Slapshot.
It's a good one. I have a question for the rules here. Are we allowing just like any sports movie, or are we limiting it to one per franchise?
Any sports movie.
Oh yeah, it has to be because of Rocky. Right?
Exactly.
Actually,
so I'm asking,
yeah,
for the case of Rocky, could we all take Rocky movies, or if I take a Rocky movie, no one else is allowed to take Rocky? All right. Give me Rocky 3.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
what's your prediction? Pain. It's unreal. Eye of the Tiger, which was supposed to be in another movie, which might be drafted. So I'm not gonna let it. They switched songs,
right?
So, and obviously, I would say most people would say that's the best Rocky movie. I'd probably just take Rocky 1 over it.
I agree.
But Mr. T is so good in this movie, and you get the best training montage and everything. So Rocky 3 will be my second selection.
I have to go for my second selection. This is a movie where I know everybody always talks about Rocky is the best fighting movie and the best boxing movie and stuff. But for me, I love The Fighter with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg.
Good.
That is a tremendous movie. If you look at it, Christian Bale even gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor as a result of that movie. Like, that movie is just such a perfect story. And I know, again, it's kind of Hollywoodified, but that is the story, for those of you who don't know, of Mickey Ward. And it's just it's a fun movie that is a bit, it's got the true elements in it. It's got the fallacies, but it is it's just such a well acted sports movie. I know there's a lot of good acting sports movies performances, but that's for me probably one of the best. And then since it's Snake, my next pick, I had to get this one on my team again. Major League.
Great
really
movie.
good.
It is.
It was my next pick.
It's the funniest sports movie, in my opinion. It is also just the amount of lines you can quote from that movie, the amount of moments, like the Wild Thing entrance, just him going up there for the first time, like their whole training montage where he's, he's throwing and he's breaking the dummy's head off as he's pitching. You got Buddy who can't hit a lick and Wesley Snipes, but he can run like the wind. Willie Mays Hayes. There are so
And what about
many
the
great
groundskeepers?
moments. Oh, the groundskeepers. There's just so many good moments. And every win they take a piece of clothing off the dummy. There's so many great moments in Major League. I'm sure watching it again, it would be a little bit offensive for today's day and age, but that is such a good movie. And then
was there
Locker?
Was there Peanut Peter Soriano.
Yes.
Yes.
And his
And he
locker.
prays to Joe Boo.
Yeah, prays to Joe Boo.
And then the end of the movie, he's like, help me, Joe Boo. Fine, I do it myself. And then cranks a homer.
Awesome movie.
I love that movie. It's never gonna not be a classic.
That's great. That one was definitely all on our lists and right around the time where I think we would have taken it. In my 3.2, give me Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I was hoping that sneak back to me.
Hilarious movie. Oh,
Yeah,
no, I was never going to let it slip that far. I either had to get it now or I wasn't going to get it at all, I don't think.
What was your first two movies?
My first two movies were Remember the Titans and Rocky 3.
Right. Okay.
And then now I have Caddyshack. Bill Murray, hilarious. Especially like starting the movie off with the gopher, and then the Scottish guy coming to him is like, kill all the gophers. Except it sounds like golfers. So he says, respectfully, sir, if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key. So, golfers. And like Chevy Chase is really funny. And not to bury the lead here or anything, but Rodney Dangerfield is hilarious in this. Is it like the sports in it very good? No, not at all. But so many quotable lines for when you're out on the golf course, and just a hilarious watch through and through. So Caddyshack is the second selection of the third round.
All right. For me, I'm going to go just because it's a beautiful movie to watch. It's not my favorite sport, but it is a stunningly beautiful movie to watch. F1 the movie.
Oh man.
It is you are spellbound by just the filming of it, but the story is exceptional. And it has Brad Pitt in it. Is that two now that we've chosen?
No, that's two Brad Pitt movies taken.
Right.
Yeah.
So F1 the movie, if you haven't seen it, make sure you do. The next one for me is When We Were Kings. It's a documentary, and it's about the heavyweight champion boxing match in Zaire, the Rumble in the Jungle, and it's the story of boxing in that era, which was the golden era of boxing, but it's also the story of two men who were a product of their times and so different in terms of how they went about their business. And they're both champions. They were both like at the top of what they could do. But if I'm honest, the best subject matter ever in a sports movie is When We Were Kings.
Good pick. For my selection, I will be taking a Fenwick family classic. Well, more specifically, a Matt Fenwick classic. In case my parents are listening on their way out to Kananaskis, hi mom, hi dad. I will be taking Field of Dreams.
Great movie. I cried during that.
Lovely movie. Kevin Costner is the sports guy. I mean, we could have just done this snake draft could have just been Kevin Costner sports movies. I don't think we would have gotten through them all. I love that movie so much. But tearing down your cornfield and the things about life and death and
Moonlight Graham
and spending time with the people that you love or time not spent with his dad. And then on top of it all, I talked about this week watching Little Big League. I don't know if I talked about it on air, but the same guy who plays Lou, who's like the heroin great baseball player in Little Big League, is the asshole brother who's the banker in Field of Dreams, which always gets a good chuckle out of me because he's so likable and then so hateable. So in the fourth round with the second selection, Field of Dreams is off the board.
My next pick, I'm going to be going here, another baseball movie, and this is obviously a historic one. I'm going 42.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's just a movie that needs to be included in any one of these
I agree.
type of lists or type of draft. It is a historic movie for obvious reasons in the story of Jackie Robinson, and it shows you kind of all the hardships and all the ups and the downs that he had to endure in terms of his journey to the majors and his journey to being a professional athlete. It was unbelievably hard. You look in, I'm sure now, granted, it's Hollywood, so it's probably not all true, but you had to see just some of the stuff that he endured and all the stuff that he persevered through. Like, man, I don't know a lot of guys that could take that. That was super impressive to me. And obviously, Jackie was a hell of a baseball player and an absolute icon. So for me, and Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. It was a hell of a performance. One of those actors who gone way too soon.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
And then I guess since it's Snake,
still
my selection. Not a lot of people would agree with me on this one, but I personally love this one. American Underdog.
Ooh, interesting.
I love this movie. It's the Kurt Warner story. Another kind of inspiring movie. If you've ever seen it, some people I know don't love this movie, but I think it's just such an inspirational movie. You get to watch Kurt Warner, well, not Kurt Warner, Zachary Levi playing Kurt Warner, and just that story from grocery man to future Hall of Famer. Like it's a hell of a story. And again, the ups and the downs that guy had to go through to get himself, obviously not the same as Jackie Robinson, but to get himself onto that football field and become a key member of a Super Bowl winning team. And obviously probably the most fun offense of all time. I don't know how you can't have that movie in there personally.
No, not bad. Actually, I lied. That is a terrible pick. American Underdog sucks.
Wow.
It's a great movie.
American
It's a
Underdog
personal
sucks.
favorite.
I guess so. Well, with all of my picks, I need a little sweetener here. So I want Draft Goddamn Day just because I feel like
So
it.
you told him he sucked.
Draft Day rules.
I love it too. Jennifer Garner's
It is
in
the best worst sports movie of all time.
No, it might just be the best worst movie of all time.
It could have been our worst movie choice.
It is an awful movie, but it is
Jennifer
so
Garner's in
good.
it.
It is such a fun sports movie.
Did
It is.
you hear me say Jennifer Garner's in it?
Yes, I did hear you say Jennifer Garner's in it, and she was great. Talk about another Chadwick Boseman movie.
Yes.
Him as Vontae Mack, incredible.
That was
but
good.
every part of this movie you can laugh at and be like, well, that would never happen in any front office movie ever. That being said, I want a draft day for each of the 4 major sports and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for the baseball, or I don't know who the basketball one would be. I can't figure it out. But like the Cleveland Browns, the worst part of that movie, though, the most unrealistic part isn't all the trades or any of the players or the watching of the tape or the scouts or anything. The most unbelievable part of all of that is that Dennis Leary was coaching the Cowboys and they won a Super Bowl. What? The Cowboys won a Super Bowl? Give me a break.
I know, the worst. All right, so this is my last pick, right?
Correct. This is the last pick of the draft.
So you've given me
There's so many good movies.
A lot
left
to
on the
choose
board.
from.
I was going to take Bang the Drum Slowly, but I can't because there's too many other really good ones. I have to take Hoosiers.
Yeah, great one. Gene Hackman, really good.
And the reason is it's a great movie. Like, it's not my forte in terms of the sport I would choose. I don't think anybody took Bull Durham.
No,
which
Bull
is a
Durham.
great movie. Bang the Drum Slowly, another baseball movie. But Hoosiers as just a story of somebody who had a last chance Texaco and shot the gap and did it with the long shot of long shot. Hoosiers is a great film.
Oh yeah,
it happens to be about basketball.
It's true.
Yeah.
Other movie. I can't believe none of us selected Rush.
Great movie.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
If there was a racing movie that was going to be taken off the board here, I think it was without a doubt F1.
I like F1 better, but Rush is a hell of a movie.
F1. The thing about F1 was I was prepared not to like it for reasons, but it's it's such a beautiful film, right? Like it's so.
Joseph Kosinski, the director, who also did Top Gun Maverick, for all of you out there, he was an engineer before this, or he was a real bigwig tech guy, and was like, I think I'm going to try directing commercials. He created new technology to put on the cars so that they could get the angles that they do, and
it's
everything.
Incredible.
And the music is really fun. And Kerry Condon literally has like the sweetest Irish accent ever, like better than Rory McIlroy. Should we run through the selections again?
I don't remember them.
I have them written down.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm genius.
All right.
So we went Moneyball, Remember the Titans, Raging Bull. Then you took Slapshot with your second pick, Rocky 3, The Fighter, Major League, Caddyshack, F1 the Movie, When We Were Kings, Field of Dreams, 42, American Underdog, Draft Day, Hoosiers.
That's a really good list.
That's a great list.
It's a great
we
one.
did good.
For those of you just tuning in and maybe you missed half of that, check our socials right after this. I'll make sure I put a post up for today's Donovan Nations.
All right. So now we're going to do our worst. We can start with Donovan.
Oh, yes. Our worst. This is such a good question because there's so many bad sports movies out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones. And man, you know what, fellas? I might go. I can't do Invincible. It's a good movie, but it's also kind of a bad movie.
Is that not about the Eagles?
Yes, it is. It's about
well,
the
it
Vince
can't be a
Papale
bad
story.
movie.
Sure it can.
I might go the longest yard with Adam Sandler.
Oh, so
it's funny, but I just can't do it.
It wasn't worth 2 movies.
It's so unserious. It's a disaster of a movie, but it's also kind of funny. Like, it's kind of in that Draft Day type of theme for me where, I don't know, I see Adam Sandler in a sports movie and I'm just out. Actually, I can't say that because Hustle was great, but he wasn't like playing sports. I don't know. I just can't take him seriously. I could have also said maybe Waterboy, but
the Waterboy's also bad. Like, don't worry about it.
The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, I'm out.
Yeah, we joked about it in the break here with who I know Tide is going to be selecting, so I won't mention what his is. But
you don't know.
You're not taking MVP.
No, I'm not taking. Although that's a terrible movie.
I will be taking one of the animal ones, and it's not MVP. I will take literally any of the Air Bud movies. Think of one and give it to me. Those movies are awful, and I understand they're for children, but like
so bad.
But they suck. They suck.
I knew you were gonna take it. I left it for you, but it was just one of the worst things ever created.
I would have taken Invincible too if we hadn't named it, because that movie is legitimately awful.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. But I think I just personally hate Longest Yard more.
The worst sports movie ever made is called Heaven Can Wait. Do you know the movie?
I've definitely heard of it. Is this another Jennifer Garner movie?
No, this is Julie Christie was in it, but it was a great group of actors. James Mason, Jack Warden, Warren Beatty was in it. And it's about a football player, Los Angeles Rams, I think, but I might be wrong.
Yes, it is Rams.
Yeah. Follows a Los Angeles Rams quarterback mistakenly taken to the afterlife before his time.
Yeah, and it's just dumb. And he was in movies like Shampoo at the same era as well. And Shampoo is actually a better movie, but like Warren Beatty is the guy I accuse Brad Pitt of being. And this is a movie that reflects that.
Okay.
Carly Simon wrote You're So Vain about him.
Also in 10 Things, or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Multiple times.
So there you go. Heaven Can Wait is, trust me, not really a sports movie, but it is involving sports. So it's the one I thought of.
The one I forgot, I should say, the one I forgot, oh my God, we forgot about Ford versus Ferrari.
No, I don't feel bad about that.
The one that I feel personally bad about forgetting is Jerry Maguire, because I
love very good movie.
I love that movie.
That was a fumble on us.
That was a fumble on us.
I excluded The Natural, and I felt bad about that. I love that Robert Redford film.
There's only, that is my favorite. I guess you'd call it a rom-com kind of, Jerry Maguire, but it's sports movie rom-com type deal.
It's really a good movie.
Myself. It's a tremendous movie. We fumbled.
Oh my God, it's 1 o'clock.
Sorry,
Jack-o'-lanterns.
Sorry, Lansky.
All right. On the way, Lansky, we've got Hodge. Everybody's going to be backed up, but it was fun. We enjoyed that. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 on YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's time for an update with Donovan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
On the ice tonight, the Habs trying to stay alive, down 3-1 for Game 5 tonight. Memorial Cup, Chicoutimi against Everett tonight at 7. Some local action, Elks battling the Stamps live from Clark Park at 7 o'clock. Riverhawks, they're welcoming Wenatchee in their season opener at Remax Field. First pitch flying just after 7 o'clock. And the Toronto Blue Jays back in action against the Baltimore Orioles. Canadian kid Adam Macko going to make his first career Major League start. Coming up, we've got Steve Lansky right after the break. I'm Donovan Paulson. That is your Sports 1440 update.
Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings on new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickups and all remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. WolfGMCBuick.com. Steve says some best that weren't mentioned: Chariots of Fire, Warriors, The Boxer. Worst would be Rocky V, a.k.a. Tommy Gunn. The first Rocky movie was brilliant, and the fight scenes were fantastic through the entire process. We're now joined by our friend Steve Lansky from Inside the Truck Podcast. Do you have an all-time favorite sports movie, Steve Lansky?
Yes, it was just being discussed right now. It's either Caddyshack or Field of Dreams.
Yes.
I also had Pride of the Yankees thrown at me, which is mid at best, but those are my three. But if you told me I had to watch Caddyshack or Field of Dreams tomorrow on my last day on Earth, that would be fine.
Did you ever watch Bang the Drum Slowly? It was kind of like melodramatic and maudlin, but I really liked Michael Moriarty in that movie.
Oh, man. I certainly know what it is. I'm going to say no or parts of it, but I'm going to have to answer no, I haven't.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. Okay, so there's so many places to go here. Montreal Canadiens are, the story in Canadian NHL hockey this year. No matter what anybody wants to say, they got to the semifinals. They showed well all year long, and they have a hell of a future. Are you surprised that Carolina announced their presence with such authority in that last game and really, I think, took over the series?
I'm disappointed. I don't know if I'm surprised. I honestly, between you and me, I can't believe Montreal can't crack the code here. They've got way more speed than Carolina. They may not have had enough as many smarts. They may not have the size. Dude, their goaltending is better. I don't think you should lose a series where your goaltending is better than the other teams. And I think Montreal is better than Freddie Anderson. But Montreal's just not getting the shots. I can't believe they haven't cracked the code. I can't believe they hadn't said, listen, I don't care where you are inside that blue line. Fire the frickin' puck at the net. That's shocking to me.
Well, and it's like when they get chances, they're pretty good, and they're not maybe closing enough of those. But credit to Carolina, they're keeping everything to the outside, and they're pressing everywhere. And like, I'll give Carolina credit. They're doing exactly what they have to do. They're rolling lots of lines and pairings. Everybody's fairly fresh. They're trying to stay out of the penalty box, and they're opportunistic in their scoring. And they shoot from everywhere, but they're basically a nightmare for a team like Montreal, who are, I think, well coached, and they're just a little too young, as you say. They haven't unlocked the code yet, and they're mobile, man. They are a mobile team, and I really like their defense. And often that is the thing that lets a team down, if not the goaltending in a big series like this.
Good point, and that's not the case here. But and I do like Marty St. Louis, same as you. But I'm just at the point where it's like, unless now this is the other thing that's a possibility. 7 games against Tampa, 7 games against Buffalo, big game 1 emotional win against Carolina.
Yeah.
And we take the top off the tank and we look in and there's nothing left in the tank. That is entirely possible. And I posted this the other day. You don't know when the tank's going to run out. You have no idea. Vegas looks great. Vegas played 1 game in the Stanley Cup final. The tank's empty. There's no warning. You don't get an E for egads. It's just nothing. It's empty. So I think Montreal could be there too, but I am a bit surprised if they're that well coached. Carolina's not the greatest team in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, come on, I get it. They got you up against the boards. You're not getting away. They're winning the puck battle. Okay, well, we got to figure something else out. But they haven't been able to.
Well, they just suppress. I mean, they're like, Carolina's good. I mean, they're a really good two-way team, and like, you knew the scoring would run out for either side. I didn't think. I'm a big Suzuki fan. I love that player, and they've got great young players in Montreal. Like, a year from now, I think they'll be terrorizing teams.
I hope so, but you know how goaltending works. Dobesh could be Ken Dryden, or he could be Steve Penny, and there's a bunch of people who just said, "Who?" Yeah. So right, so you don't know what you're getting over time with a goalie.
We talked about this earlier in the week about Dobish. I said, the thing about a run like this is there's no guarantee he's the starter in the fall. They got another great young goaltender, and the Habs did too. Dryden just kept being Dryden. That's not guaranteed. We know the nature of goaltending is they are voodoo, and I mean, Dobish he can walk high all summer long no matter what happens. This guy is incredible, but the sun shines on goaltenders sporadically sometimes.
When people say, "Oh, they're solid in goal for the future," don't say stuff like that. Like that is absolute crap. You don't know how Grant Fuhrer. Oh, great year in Edmonton. Horrible playoffs in '82. Then all of a sudden he's the great. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with goalies. It's a dice roll with every single goaltender. I can probably think of 5 in my entire life that I would say, you know what, those guys were great in, year out, every year. I'd have to think who they are. The rest, oh my God, take the big wheel, spin the wheel. Oh, you're going to get another good season. Oh, it's going to be a bad season. It's literally like that.
Steve Lansky, our guest, Inside the Truck podcast on the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. There are all kinds of things surrounding Bruce Cassidy. Vegas now saying that the Oilers leaked it. I don't believe that it didn't benefit the Oilers, but this is the fog of war that is happening. But into this comes Rod Peterson, who is a well-known broadcaster originally out of Regina. And Peterson, who was on this show years ago saying Ken Holland will be general manager, and in fact he was in Edmonton a few weeks later, he is saying now that Cassidy will be the coach next year in Edmonton with the Oilers. Where are you on this? Is there more pressure being applied now that Cassidy has said he wants to coach and he's frustrated? Or do you think Vegas is just playing this like a Stradivarius and doing everything right?
Of course he'll be the coach. If he wants to be the coach and the others want him to be the coach, he'll be the coach. Of course. Vegas is doing exactly what they should do. Vegas doesn't give a rat's rear end about the Oilers. Vegas cares about Vegas. They don't need any of this crap right now. They're going to the Stanley Cup final. They don't need to give the Oilers permission to, use the washroom. Like, they don't need to give them anything. But yeah, of course that's what's going to happen. It's going to shake down that way. Maybe they don't want it right now. Maybe want to make the Oilers, pay for it, sweat it out. I don't know what it is. But if the Oilers want Cassidy and Cassidy wants the Oilers, that's what's going to happen.
Are you, we've talked about this, and I've gotten a lot of reaction to it, by the way, positive and negative, about this team and their coachability. It feels to me like no matter who comes here, whether it be Cassidy or Laviolette or anybody, the names being mentioned are a little sterner stuff than, say, Woodcroft and Chris Knobloch. those were two young coaches who probably could, do a lot of X's and O's, but weren't necessarily going to be, benching Draisaitl, although Knobloch did do that. Do you think that the management / ownership wants more of a veteran guy with some iron, in his words?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have, based on what I've seen, I wouldn't have a clue what the hell management ownership wants in Edmonton. No offense. But I think you'd want someone with a bit of a rougher edge. But here's the problem. Nobody's going to change in Edmonton. No players are going to change. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and, 25 is not going to say, I shall be smarter every time I step on the ice. It doesn't happen. You change when you get on another team and you're Brian Trottier or you're Ron Francis or whatever. Not that they needed to change, but they look and go, oh, the only way I'm winning a Stanley Cup is to be a different component on this team. They're not going to change in the blue and orange. That's it. That's fait accompli. That's sealed. So I'm not sure it matters who comes in behind the bench, whether he's soft as the marshmallow or hard as John Tortorella. I'm not sure it's going to matter.
It's for me, this is the summer. People are saying, well, next year they'll have to trade McDavid. And others are saying, no, play him for 2 years. And if you lose him to free agency, then that's how the cookie crumbles. But I don't think they can afford to lose McDavid for nothing. Do you?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, if they do lose him for nothing, that's the biggest idiot move in the history of idiot moves. That cannot happen. It absolutely cannot happen. But you got to be prepared for some backlash if you say, "Oh, we've made a trade." Oh my God, it'll be cataclysmic for the fan base. But this is business, dude. This isn't marbles in the playground at recess. This is business. If you can get something for somebody, you get something for somebody. You can't let them walk. That's insane.
Yeah, and I remember the rioting, such as it was, the burning of Pocklington and effigy on Jasper Avenue. And he not only lived through that, he owned the team when they won the Stanley Cup in 1990. We kind of view these things as Armageddon, but they are just actual events.
They are not Armageddon. I don't know what Armageddon would be. I haven't seen Armageddon in sports so far. That is far, far, far from Armageddon. This is only one of 32 teams. Don't forget, 32 fan bases have the same emotions about their team. And if you want to go into 4 major sports, 120 fan bases. But no, that is far from Armageddon. You've got to do what's best for the team. Letting a guy like 97 or 29, whenever that happens, or 25, letting those guys walk? No, you can't do that.
Well, I just think you and people will say, well, all you're going to get is picks, but some money has to be coming back, some cap attached to, there's going to be a Jimmy Carson in the deal, right?
Well, if it gets to that point and you've got to make the deal, yeah, you hope that player is still playing at a high level, and then you get as much as you can. But when you look at the Gretzky trade, and I mean, I don't have it in front of me. You're going to have to remind me. You got Martin Gelinas, you got Jimmy Carson, right? You had McSorley going the other way. I mean, yeah. So let's look at Jimmy Carson. Jimmy Carson not get 100 points in his rookie season? I think he did.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carson going to the Hall of Fame? Jimmy Carson's not going to the Hall of Fame. So that's the crapshoot there. Marty Gelinas probably ended up being the best player, and Marty Gelinas is, he scored a few timely goals in Game 7. So it was just a dice roll. What you got back for Wayne too.
Yeah, it's true. And you could make the argument that the Kings gave up too much because they never did win a Stanley Cup after that. And you need strong support. And I think that you would agree the 80s Oilers were unique. You could trade Gretzky and still win a Stanley Cup, and that is unique.
100%. I'll just say one thing. I don't think the Kings needed to win a Stanley Cup with Wayne Gretzky. The Kings just wanted to become relevant for an owner who had an ego the size of Cleveland. That's all the Kings, that's all they wanted to do. Sorry, what was your question? That the 80s Oilers were unique?
Well, I just think the Edmonton Oilers of that era were unique in that they could trade a Wayne Gretzky and still be strong enough to win the Stanley Cup.
They were unique in about 10 ways. And if you asked me to make a list, I could do it. First of all, number one is they grew up together. Doesn't happen. They grew up together. Messier, Gretzky, Anderson, Coffey, Fuhr, Lowe. They all grew up together. There is no substitute for that. None. Not one bit. Number two, they had a guy who knew exactly what he was doing when it came to people. Not everybody knows that. Not every general manager, coach, they have a lot of them have absolutely frickin' no clue how to do that. So if we're talking unique, those are to me the big two there right away. And they were able to pass a torch really smoothly as they needed to through time. Also not easy to do, but they did it.
It's true. I remember when Fogelin handed off the captaincy. I remember when Fogelin was traded. They didn't, as much a part of the team as he was, and it's hard to describe to people now. You look at his statistics in Hockey Reference or the Guide and Record book, and Lee Fogelin looks like some guy, but he really was, in a lot of ways, when this team entered the NHL, the heart of the team, and he was very well respected. And when he handed over the captaincy, it was an emotional time for him and Gretzky and the fans.
Well, and he handed over that captaincy after only 1 year in the NHL. Oh, wait a minute. Wayne played for 5 seasons before he was the captain of that team. 4, if you don't count the WHA year. Think about that. You got a guy who's winning the Hart Trophy, he's winning the Art Ross, and he's not your captain. Yeah, because he shouldn't have been your captain. Unfortunately, now it's based on scoring points. It's got nothing to do with it. Bogey was a great captain. Bogey got them right where they needed to get in 83-84 when Wayne put on the C. The only thing that bums me out is Bogey didn't get to, get the cup handed to him by John Ziegler. That's about it for that.
Yeah. So you are well. Are you off to Scotland, Ireland, the Grey Cup? What are you doing these days, sir?
No, we're off. We just did another podcast yesterday. I think it's going to drop tomorrow.
Tag me on it. I'll retweet it for you.
Okay, that sounds very good. Thank you. It depends when the editor gets finished, and I think we all know who the editor is.
Don't you mean the boss?
What's that?
Don't you mean the boss edits it and gets it done? The brain trust of the operation?
In the room. And then next week we go to Bonneville. It's supposed to be a little cold and rainy. I don't know about that, but we're going.
All right. Listen, we really appreciate your time. Lansky, have a great weekend, man.
Thanks. You take care.
All right. Steve Lansky, our good friend, as you can tell, and a good man. And speaking of, John Hodge from 3 Down Nation, going to talk to us about the CFL, specifically about the Elks in the final preseason game, which goes tonight. And we'll really kind of go over the Western Division, but the CFL overall as we get ready for 2026 regular season. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
I'm good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only way to experience it is being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440. Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. It's time for our headliner of the day, John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. A playoff season is here, and the last thing you need is debt stealing the thrill. A free consultation at a local Faber licensed insolvency trustee could be the turning point. Visit Faber, FABER.ca. We're now joined by John Hodge. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So explain to an old guy like me, I know that I have TSN and I've got all the 5 channels and I can usually watch CFL. This new deal is great for the league, so I'm happy. But how do I get, is it on my phone and I transfer it to because this is going to be an issue here when it happens.
Well, I mean, like most apps for streaming, I believe DAZN has an app you can put on your phone to watch on your phone. If you have a television with smart features to download the app right on your TV, you can do that. Or as you said, you can potentially put the game on your phone and then shoot it to the TV. I know when my mother-in-law has concerns about technology, she just calls me. So if there's somebody who you or any of your listeners have in their family who they can call for tech support, that'd be my suggestion. But yeah, it's going to be a transition period for CFL fans in 2027.
All right, John, you can take care of that. So what we're going to do at the end of this, we're going to send your number to everybody. Just read it out on the air, and then you can help everybody. Is that okay?
I'll charge for my services. Sure.
All right. Elks are, as a longtime CFL fan, I am really cheering for this edition of the team. I think they've done a lot of things right. They brought back most of the coaching staff. They have a good feel for their team. Things are looking up. Injuries, of course, are going to impact that. Little worried about Fajardo. And, of course, the Western Division is Everest. There's some really good teams out here. For you, what do you expect reasonably from the Elks this season based on what you've seen?
Well, I think the Elks are going to be better than they were last year. I think there were some growing pains with the new coaching staff last season, which attributed to the slow start. But there's also a reason why this team finished the year hot. And, I mean, Cody Fajardo does not have the CFL's biggest arm. That said, he knows how to make really good decisions with the football. He's athletic enough to use his feet and buy time. He's a vet. You can't throw a defensive look at him that he hasn't seen before. And unlike last year, where I think it's pretty clear this team just lost confidence in Trey Ford as the number 2. They've now brought in Taylor Powell, who I believe is the future of that franchise under center. I mean, Cody Fajardo has spoken openly about how, that last year could have even been his last year. He's kind of year to year at this point of his career. And I think Taylor Powell is an excellent number 2. And I mean, he certainly showed that during the team's preseason opener, throwing a couple of touchdown passes, I believe. So, I think that, defensively, this team is more set. I think offensively it's more set, but the biggest challenge, as I think you astutely laid out, is that to make the playoffs, you have to be better than some of these other teams in the West, and that's easier said than done.
So my next question is about a quarterback, and Bo Levi came into the league, over a dozen years ago, and when he went to Hamilton, I was like, okay, this is, he's basically, when a quarterback stays in one spot forever and then he goes to another town and it's like a year or a half a year or 2 years and that's it. We're through, I think, the third year now in Hamilton, and this is a great quarterback. And my question is, how long does he have in the league, do you think? And where would you rank him, not exactly, but in terms of all-time quarterbacks in the league?
Oh, great question. I'll answer the last part first. I wouldn't put Bo Levi Mitchell top 5, but he's probably top 10 for me at this point of his career. He's 36, and he's finished 4 years in Hamilton, which is wild to say. It doesn't feel that long. That said, sorry, you are correct. It's been 3 years in Hamilton. The first one was totally forgettable. Injuries, and to Bo's credit, he kept pushing through, and he will rave and rave about the team's strength and conditioning coach, Marcellus Bowman, former CFL linebacker, played for the Bombers and Ticats, but a guy who really helped Bo Levi Mitchell remake his body. I think Bo was playing through a lot of pain back in the kind of latter portion of his career in Calgary, through the start of his career in Hamilton. And obviously we saw that impact his performance on the field. Like, this is a guy who, and it's kind of unthinkable considering how good he was at his peak for all those years in Calgary, where he was throwing for 30, 35 touchdowns every year and leading that team to first place in the West Division. But there were a couple of years there where he finished even on his touchdown interception ratio. He was negative on it in 2021. He was negative on it in 2023. And then, of course, the last 2 years in Hamilton, between his body being better and having a real offensive guru as a head coach and Scott Milanovich, he has completely reinvigorated his career. And so, I mean, I've spoken to Bo about his future, and he's very much in the year-to-year mindset, at least at this point of his career. I don't think he's playing necessarily for money at this point. I think he's playing because he loves it. I think he would like to add another Grey Cup, another MOP to his resume. And I mean, he's come very close. The last 2 years, he's been the MOP candidate out of the East Division and lost at the league level to the West Division candidate. So I think there are still some things that he's chasing. I'm sure he'd love to end that Grey Cup drought that the Tiger Cats have dating back to 1999. But I don't know if this could be Bo's last year. Maybe he'll play another 4. It's year to year for him right now, and good for him for after kind of a mid-late career lull, playing as well as he ever has over the last few.
How much can he help Trey Ford?
You know, it's a good question. And I mean, I'll go back to Scott Milanovich. Like, this is a guy who, when he was the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts back almost 15 years ago, had not only Ricky Ray as a starting quarterback, but he had a couple of backups in Zach Collaros and Trevor Harris. And of course, those two guys are now the grizzled vets, no longer the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed rookies, but they're guys who are still starting and playing really well late in their careers. Of course, Trevor Harris, the reigning Grey Cup MVP with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Zach Collaros, a two-time MOP in his own right with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So Scott Milanovich has had a tremendous record of developing quarterbacks. Taylor Powell, now of the Edmonton Elks, would be one of those guys who spent his last couple of years in Hamilton. But yeah, between Milanovich, between Bo Levi Mitchell, Trey Ford has an excellent supporting cast in Hamilton. He was dreadful in the team's first preseason game, but that was also played in an absolute monsoon-like downpour at Hamilton Stadium. So I don't want to be too critical. But yeah, I mean, whatever Trey Ford's ceiling is, I think he's going to hit it in Hamilton. The question is, what is that ceiling, right? We saw flashes of brilliance in Edmonton, but not anything sustained. We also saw moments where he looked really, really amateurish. And I wouldn't say those were sustained either. We saw high peaks and low valleys. And obviously
head coaches do not like high peaks and low valleys. They like consistency because consistency generally wins games, right? So I'm curious to see what Trey Ford can develop into in Hamilton because he's got the best supporting cast I think you could ask for.
John Hodge, our guest from 3 Down Nation on Sports 1440 and the Lowdown with Lowetide. You mentioned Powell. Based on training camp so far in the preseason, Fajardo, there's some pressure on him here. We know that he doesn't have Dieter Brock's arm. He's a fine quarterback, but there are some things about him and his skill set that leave him open to criticism and struggles at times. If there is a starting quarterback controversy in the CFL, is Edmonton one of the places that you might predict it could happen?
Well, funnily enough, I mean, the Ottawa Redblacks, they haven't even played their second preseason game yet. They already have a quarterback split. It was announced yesterday that Jake Mayer is going to be the starter of that team, and Drew Brown is going to be the backup, which is interesting. And I don't think that's a season-long decision. I think it's a let's roll with this now decision, and then we'll see what kind of comes from there. But yeah, the Edmonton Elks are certainly in that boat of teams that have multiple guys who they clearly like. And yeah, I think if you're looking to get back to the playoffs for the first time in a long time, the Elks haven't been there since the COVID-19 pandemic. We know this. I think Cody Fajardo is a great guy to do it because he's not going to have those high peaks and low valleys we were talking about. He's going to be as consistent as anybody in the league. He is going to make good decisions with the football. He's going to, we know he has leadership skills, from winning a championship with the Montreal Expos. But, I mean, this is a guy who has never thrown 20-plus touchdown passes in a season in his career. Never. He has one 4,000-yard season, but statistically speaking, right, he doesn't exactly light it up. And I don't think the Elks are built to light it up, frankly. I think this is a team that wants to win along the line of scrimmage. They want to run the football. They want to fly around on defense. They want to force turnovers, and they want to make some big plays in the return game with Javon Leake, who's great there. Like, I don't think they're asking or expecting Cody Fajardo to put up 5,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. That being said, I mean, Taylor Powell might be the guy to do that. I don't know if he can do that in 2026, but he does have a bigger arm, at least in my opinion, than Cody Fajardo. And I think he is the future. The question becomes, what is the timeline? If Cody Fajardo plays well all season, I don't see a reason to replace him. But if this team is slow out of the gate, if Cody Fajardo is slow out of the gate, just like we saw last year where Trey Ford got 5 starts and the team pulled the chute, I think we could see a similar situation play out in Edmonton in 2026.
How ridiculous is it to suggest that Justin Rankin is like, beginning the season, obviously one of the featured players and most exciting players in the league. Does he have a chance to like be in the race for the MOP in your opinion?
I mean, to be in the race for MOP, you have to be on a good team, right? So that I think is part of it. If the Elks miss the playoffs again, like it's almost impossible to be the MOP if you miss the playoffs. So the team's got to be better, but I do think the team will be better. Look, I mean, if he stays healthy, if he plays all 18 games, he's going to have 1,000 yards rushing, I believe. And I think he could also have, at least be close to 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Like, this is a guy who has verbalized that. He told my colleague Justin Dunk at 3downnation.com that that's his goal. He wants to be the first ever to do it. He really wasn't that far away from doing it last year. He hit 1,000 yards rushing, had 700 yards and change in receiving. So it's not a completely unrealistic pie in the sky idea. Obviously, it's ambitious. No one's ever done it, but I don't think it's impossible. And if you go for 1,000, and this team is 12-6, and I mean, it depends what everyone else does. If Nathan Rourke throws for 50 touchdowns, then it doesn't really matter what everybody else does. But if this team is a good team and Justin Rankin hits that mark, and a couple of notable players get dinged up, I don't see any reason why Justin Rankin wouldn't be worthy of that.
Well, if the Elks are good, he's going to be a big, big part of it, no doubt. Hey, thanks for this. We really appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for
having me. There you go. Don Hodge, 3 Down Nation. Love reading him, love hearing him, love talking to him. All right. We don't have Donovanations. What shall we do? No more movie drafts. We went long on that one.
We did go really long on the old movie draft side, but we did get a ton of texts about the best sports movies and stuff. And
yeah, I got a buddy of mine said Heaven Can Wait is one of his favorite movies, so I'm in trouble right now.
We can dive through some of your texts and stuff, and we can dive into some Oilers stuff. Whatever the text line wants.
There you go. All right.
Dive into that.
Sounds good. That's all on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. We're back after this.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. Telecommunication work? Yep. And yep, since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
You have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Okay, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis and mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, banana,
breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
By Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Jason Krueger coming up at 2:00 today as we wind our way toward the weekend. Do you have his guest list? We should probably pass that along. I know you got a big guest at 5:20.
I will grab his guest list in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and I've just found it right now.
All right.
It via, of course, the one, the only Connor Halley. He's going to have Craig Button on the show at 4:20. He's, of course, going to have this bum named Lowetide. Spack as per usual. Tater's going to give you his 2-minute warning via Greg's. Rod Peterson.
That's the name I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Victor Finley to talk a little Go Habs Go. And Mr. Jake Lanferman, of course, to give you the hype for the Riverhawks tonight.
Well, the hype is outside. It's the weather. Going to be beautiful. They picked a real nice weekend to start it off. The Edmonton Riverhawks are a great time, no matter the score, and the pitchers throw strikes. Can't tell you how important that is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show as per always, and yeah, I mean you get a lot of good people on that show except for Lowetide. I mean that guy.
He's got a fill there in the last hour. But Rod Peterson, he's a guy who's talking about, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers being Bruce Cassidy. So that's that's at 3:20. But I will definitely be tuning in.
Yes,
probably be eating my salad and drinking, water at that time. But
so some things we should probably actually get to here in the last segment, because we did have questions about the CFL's deal with the zone.
Right.
So this is coming in from Stony Jim, and this is just to relay it for anyone who may have missed it or anyone who doesn't know what the zone is. He just says, "Hi guys, I just started listening to your show. What's this thing I have to download on my TV?" So it is called The Zone. It is a streaming app for sports. You can watch NFL now, selection of 20, I think it is, CFL games, as well as some Premier League soccer stuff. You can watch some racing on it. You can watch a bunch of different stuff. It's an only sports streaming app, and you just download it on your TV, on your phone. In case you missed it, that's kind of and it's DAZN. So that is what it's called.
That's why I think one of the reasons people get confused.
Yes, it's a weird spelling for DAZN, but that's what it's called. Is DAZN.
But I think it's to appeal to young people, right? And I think the entire process is something that young people pick up, and I'm all in favor of that.
That's the whole point, right? Is DAZN is something that, listen, I don't know if you have it, Josh, but I would assume, like, I know Connor has it, I know I have it, I know Brandon has it. So many people have DAZN now to just watch the NFL alone. And now, some people might accidentally stumble into some CFL football. If you've got a young 16-year-old kid and just wants to watch some football, now you might become a fan of the CFL. Like, that's kind of, I think, the hopes of this. And I don't know, I think it's a great thing for league. They get 84 million sheets.
Do we have an idea of who their broadcasters will be?
That I don't know. That
I hate to put you on the spot like that.
Yeah, that's something that I genuinely can't give you an answer.
I'm hoping for Frank Rigney and Chris Schultz.
Yes. Some as long as it's not a certain somebody.
Oh, who could that be?
He works for this other Edmonton thing.
But he's already doing it.
Yes, I know. But as long as he's not the zone guy, I just don't want to.
The competitiveness of this station is incredible.
Hey, you know what? I'm a competitive guy.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Being competitive.
Also have a little fun and poke some jabs.
But I will say that having competition makes everybody better, in my experience in the broadcast industry.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But we also have a lot of people talking about this McDavid thing with between you and Lansky, where, some people ranging from you can't let him go.
Right.
excuse me, you can't let him go for free. You've got to trade him if it gets to that. And some people are more of the mind of, listen, you got 2 years on this deal. You've got to try and win the cup.
Yeah, and like, I mean, both sides have really strong points. Like, if you don't trade him until the summer after his second season, you'll get something like the Oilers or the Leafs got for Marner, and you'd get more than that. And you got to be smart about it. So it's not like you go to the brink of free agency and you get nothing. But at that point in time, you're not going to get what you might get a year previous, because McDavid's not going to say a year from now, yes, I'll go to the Rangers and I'll let them sign me to an extension, unless he's part of that process. And that would involve him deciding his next city, whatever that may be. And, for me, my bottom line is, I would not, if I'm management, I would not broach the subject publicly or with McDavid until next summer. But I would sure as hell talk about it, because I think the owner has to give a direction to management. What do you want to do here? The coaches want to have McDavid for 2 years. Why not? But from a point of view of this organization, ticket prices can't be the same if McDavid's not in town. The worth of the franchise would not be the same if McDavid's not in town. Those are all things that you have to consider. So that's one of the reasons why the pressure is so great. You're playing for, that'd make a great movie. You're playing to win Stanley Cup, but you're also, playing for the next 6-year contract that McDavid signs.
And you're also playing to keep Leon Draisaitl, right? Like, we don't know if Leon sticks, right? If McDavid goes, that's his boy, right? So
that's your draft day sequel right there.
That is your draft day sequel. And we also should say that Connor McDavid would control this. Like, there is still a no move clause in his contract, so he can pick and choose. If he even wants to stay and play it out, he can stay and play it out. Like, there's that's going to be entirely up to the player. That's one of those situations where I'm sure the Oilers would say, listen, we would, if you're not going to sign an extension, we would prefer to move you. But hey, if you want to stick around and try and win the cup this year, we'll happily keep you. I would assume that would be kind of the vibe. Other questions about the zone. Hacksaw is asking, is it actually free? I heard it's $25 a month. I believe it's actually a little bit more than $25 a month. I think it's 35.
Okay, that's what a dozen beer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, 15, but I would say though. So the one good thing about the zone, so you can either buy it for the full season, and I know this from experience because I do the same thing every year, or you can buy it month by month, and it's really because you can cancel it after this season ends, right? Mm-hmm. So you can cancel it if you want to watch CFL and NFL. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of overlap, but there will also be the points that it sticks out on either end, where you're going to have, the CFL is going to be running fairly quick here, and the NFL, you're going to have to wait a little bit. So the NFL will run a little bit longer, but we will, like, you're only going to wind up paying, if you do the $35 a month thing, you're going to be paying what, $180, $200, something like that. If you want to buy the only, the full CFL calendar length. Think of it like Prime and the NHL's deal.
It in my house, it happens where I'm still a cable guy, and I have these other apps that I use, but I don't, unless there's something specific on, I don't go to them, or I want to watch a movie or whatever. But my kids they haven't watched cable TV, I think, most of their lives. They don't really know what it is.
I love cable.
Cable's the best. I love cable, but
cable doesn't cut out or stop or any of those
things. Yeah. The streaming app can absolutely be a bit of a nuisance for sure. But I will say, as far as streaming apps go, I will give you the absolute, DAZN is legit. It's very good app. Sometimes if your Wi-Fi is not very good, it might give you the cutting out and it might look like crap. But for the vast majority of you listening, it should be a quality app. And I think their broadcasts are substantially better than the Prime NHL broadcasts. I think those broadcasts are terrible.
John says, so what about the ownership giving McDavid a piece of the pie? So make 10% owner Oilers and keep them around. Well, you can't really do that. This is a cap world, and anything you sign Connor McDavid to a contract, what's 10% share? How do you figure that out annually? I think that's, I get your point, but it's not the contract has to include, cap with it. And that means that you have to have a concrete number. As far as I know, I don't know how you would evaluate that. You could give him whatever the equivalent of that is, but what's the cap with the $104 million cap now? What's the most you could pay one player? McDavid will still be underpaid, but there is a cap on how much you can spend on one player, I believe.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's 16% of the cap, right? That's usually been the going rate.
So if it's 104 cap, so we have 16.
I just want to quickly say something while you do that. If you guys want to go vote on who won, you can go to our Twitter or Instagram pages at Sports 1440 AM and place your votes. I'm sure Lowetide will also repost it, as well as Donovan, just like I did.
Yeah, 16.64 million would be the outer marker at 104 million cap. So, but I mean, that's in the future, and you can't give 10% of the ownership of the team, but you can pay Connor McDavid. That's sort of the way that would work. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Jason Krueger on the way. Don't forget, he's got a great group of guests, including Rod Peterson, and I'll be dropping by at 5:20. Not a big deal, but I wanted to let you know. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your weekend.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
This Sports 1440 update is brought to you by Sean Cunningham of RE/MAX Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. On the ice tonight, Habs trying to stay alive, down 3-1 for Game 5 tonight. Memorial Cup, Chicoutimi takes on Everett tonight at 7. Local action, Elks battling the Stamps live from Clark Park at 7 o'clock. Riverhawks, they host Wenatchee in their season opener down at RE/MAX Field. First pitch flying just after 7 o'clock. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, Canadian kid Adam Macko going to make his first career MLB start. That game goes at just after 5 o'clock. Coming up next on Sports 1440, it is the Jason Krueger Show. I'm Donovan Paulson. That is your Sports 1440 update.